It's all good. We're still at 8%. This is going to be a wipe, actually. Amazing. Holla ballers, what's going on? It's Preacher. And we're looking at it. The mighty, the beast, the one, the only, the disciplined priest. As I said in the basic guide, which I hope you've watched, because we're going to be referring to a lot of that here in this guide, is that it is, in fact, the most unique healing spec in the game. And we're going to show you why. So I've chosen Black Hand LFR. One reason is that it's the only fight that actually has damage, realistically, inside of the LFR at the moment. The one problem is, though, it's very, very quick, which means it can get very chaotic very quickly. So what we need to do is start off do the first mob, which will no doubt be ninja pulled momentarily, and then we can explain what we're looking at, so when we're in the fight, you guys have got a general gist of what it is that you're seeing and what I'm actually doing. So the Disc Priest has a number of different ways of playing, but primarily, one thing you're always going to be doing is looking after Archangel. This little spell down here. What we need to do is get the balance... God damn. What we need to do is get the balance right of using enough offensive penances. That's right, offensive. I'm going to be saying offensive, defensive a lot. Offensive penances and our power word solace in order to generate our evangelism stacks. And then manage that. So in the 30-second cooldown window that is Archangel, we can pretty much use it on cooldown, yeah? Excuse me. So, having said that, what are we going to be doing? Once our team does quite well here, we're going to be managing that, but we're also going to be making decisions on the fly. Now, the good thing about Black Hand LFR is that it provides us a number of different scenarios very, very quickly. So in phase 1, we have the predictable damage. This is what Disc Priests love. And one thing that's really hard for me to demonstrate inside LFR without having to jump into a main raid on my priest here is the synergy and the symbiosis that exists between Disc Priests and the raid. Disc Priests love knowing who's going to take damage. We have this 15-second window with Power Word Shield where we can say, you are going to take damage in the next 15 seconds guaranteed. And we know that because we've set things up in the raid, like our tanks are going to put Infernal Slice onto Group 2. The Butcher is going to cleave Group 2 and then Group 3. So we can go, oh, Group 2's coming up now, I can see the timers and then we can shield those. This is LFR, right? That shit ain't going to happen. It isn't going to happen. That doesn't exist, which means a lot of the time we're going to be running a bit of triage. So phase 1 is going to be predictable damage, where we're going to be kind of probably barriering the melee, because they're likely to be stood still, taking bomb damage, and, you know, generally just being that kind of mishmash. And preparing for it, using our Archangel just before Demolish to make sure we have our most powerful shields up and all that kind of stuff. Remember how powerful Shield is. It's a gun. Which is why be careful about a lot of information there about Prayer of Mending and all this kind of stuff. Ultimately, it's just nowhere near as powerful. Ultimately, nowhere near as powerful as just the Power Word Shield. In 5 global cooldowns with our Archangel up, I can put out like 500,000 preventative damage. 500,000. Yeah? Which is just crazy how much power you have with this button if you use it correctly. Which is why we're using mouse over. I talked briefly in the basic guide that looking out for messages above people's heads is very, very important as a Disc Priest. And being able to, let's say, Misky, our wonderful pally, dancing pally here, had suddenly go, oh, I'm marked for death. Boom, I can just shield that person with a mouse over. Really recommend you get something like that, because as a Disc Priest, you spend most of your time just tracking Weakened Soul. So let me show you here on grid. You can see Weakened Soul is what I'm tracking. If I shield people, if I can just mouse over click them here, you can see that. You can see it tracks the Weakened Soul, so I can see who needs a new shield. So phase 1 will be a lot about managing the Demolish and reducing that damage as much as possible. Hopefully the group doesn't wipe here. That would be really bad. And then in phase 2, when we fall through the floor, that's going to be all out and out triage. I call it the triage of Dis. And that's that we don't actually put out HPS. That's down to the other guys, okay? We're not here to put out HPS. Big heals, topping people up, that's not our job. We're there to make sure they can survive. And we do that by shielding them. Yep, shield is our big gun. And probably using Archangel on cooldown at that point, as the damage is constant. It's always going on, and we might as well take advantage of that. So we'll be using it, finding an... Oh, we didn't kill it. Oh, what a bummer. What a bummer. So at least I can give us... probably don't have to mass heal this, so I can talk a little bit more without having to be super on the ball effective. So phase 2 will be like that. And phase 3, it will all turn to absolute shit. Everyone will die. There'll be explosions and all sorts of... It'll be literally the intro to any Battlefield game you've ever seen in your entire life. Saving Private Ryan all over the goddamn place. So it should be fine and dandy. At that point, we should be all good. So I'm going to spam Holy Nova to annoy all the Disc Priests. It's not a bad spell. I mean, you can cast it on the move. It puts out decent healing, but at At the same time, you could be throwing shields and stuff out. We will be using a lot of shields. It doesn't have as many tools in the toolkit as, say, a Holy Priest, but that doesn't mean it's bad by any means. So, the Disc Priest is so strong. It's such a powerhouse. So, we're rocking about 645 item level on this Priest. So, you can put your Disc Priest to the test there. The main thing we're going to be looking after is our Archangel. Make sure we're using it correctly. Make sure we're getting the most out of it. And trying to be prepared. Looking at timers way more than normal. Way, way more than normal. So, have we got the whole raid in? I got you, buddy. Oh, no, it's... come. The life grip is real. Yeah? Life gripped you in, buddy. I got you. Right, so let's start shielding our tanks. Who are noted by this lovely yellow marker on here. And we're going to get started. So, a couple of notes on Atoma. I didn't talk about Atoma much in the basic guide. It's so trivial these days. It's such a bygone era of being able to do that kind of healing that I didn't mention it because it's not really a thing anymore. As much as some old school Disc Priests actually adore it, and I get that. Ready check. Are we ready, team? Don't want to make mistakes. Ready check hype. Someone's already AFK, I guarantee it. And it looks like it's the paladin that I life gripped. And it's the tank. Oh, sweet Jesus. Tank's already AFK. Done. Dusted. Wipe ink. We'll see. We'll see if the ready check realizes it's the tank. Come on. Come on. Redhead. Come on, please. Please. If I can push you forward. They did notice. So yeah, Atonement has unfortunately become... It's a bygone era. And it's now... it's kind of what makes Evangelism a little bit odd. That it requires some sort of damaging spell. It's kind of this leftover spell. That they were like, well, Disc Priests do damage. Yeah, but you took away the healing benefit, really, from doing that. And that makes me really sad now. So, why did you do that? So, I would ultimately expect that Evangelism will change to Penance, just to manage Penance on cooldown, even with its healing component. But as it is, we'll be using offensive penances, which is quite annoying. But, as I said, we do have this symbiotic relationship where we shouldn't be having to save people with heals. As weird as that sounds, we shouldn't have to be doing that. That's not our job. That's not our job at all, is to do that. What we're hoping to do is to prevent death, provide people with more effective health, and then the other people should be healing that up. So, I'm going to wait until a tank comes in, and then I'll restart the video from there. Alright, guys? Welcome back, everybody! We've got a new tank, and we're off, and we're ready to play. So, the first thing I'm doing is I'm getting shields on the tanks. They're going to be tank swapping. And on top of that, I'm going to go use Smite, which is a terrible, terrible fucking spell. But just to get my Evangelism rolling and all that kind of good stuff. Other than that, you can see here that I've got this notification, which is my power word Solace. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. But it becomes very habitual to actually use that. You'll just become very used to the fact that, oh, you've casted a couple of spells, it's no doubt back. Other than that, what am I doing? Well, you can see I'm trying to ensure that the tanks keep shields on pretty much 100% of the time. And you can see we're just a couple of seconds left. See the way my Archangel is just procced there? It will either be, if you get used to it, it will either be just before. Yeah, it'll either be just before the cooldown's up. Or, simultaneously, it will pop up just after. Depending on, it will ultimately depend on how many offensive penance you use. One thing I'm going to be referring to is my Enhanced Archangel. That's that buff that was there then, okay? So during the fight, I'll be talking about that as if it's just Divine Aegis. Because Enhanced Archangel gives us the ability to have a 100% critical strike chance, it's very important that we use that correctly. And I don't look at that spell, and some people will disagree with me here, but I don't look at that spell for its healing output. I look at it as putting Divine Aegis on people, putting that absorbing barrier on. Now, luckily, we have both tanks in the same group. Disc Priests do get very fucking annoyed, raid leaders, when you don't put people in the right groups, like all the melee and stuff, because they want that Prayer of Healing, that Divine Aegis to go on a specific group, so bear that in mind, always, raid leaders. It's very handy. Prayer of Healing is still tied to a group for some fucking reason, to the party anyway. So I'll be looking to put that Divine Aegis more than likely on group 1. Not always, if we do need some healing output from there. But we do have a Resto Druid here, and we have a Holy Priest, which is just amazing. These synergize really well with me. In fact, I'm the only Disc Priest, which is so rare. And I'm thankful for that, because that means hopefully no one will be giving people shields, Mr. Rienda, and taking away my glorious power word shield ability. And oh lol lol, the two people who did miss the lift. Yeah, so we'll be looking out for that. Other than that, we'll be filling our time as effectively as possible. If we can fire off a Prayer of Mending, because it sits on the target. Yeah, if we're in that nice moment where it sits on the target, we can fire for Paramending, but it's pretty shite. Paramending is worse than a powered shield, but it works differently. Some people just look at raw output, like powered shield versus this, mana versus HPS. It works differently. If you've got lots of AoE damage going around, it can just jump around to the most needy people and help them out. And that's something you've got to bear in mind with Paramending. It's not the raw output if you're just an HPS fiend. It's actually how it effectively helps anyone else. So, phase 1 is predictable damage. Now, Demolish comes quite early, which, yes, sorry friends, I'm going to do probably a smite early on, just to get my Archangel ready for that Demolish. But other than that, we're going to pre-shield these tanks. And we're going to hope for it. I'm going to open with an offensive penance just to get my evangelism rolling. And get started on this. So you see, demolition's in 9 seconds. So what did I say? You need 15 seconds of uptime. So demolition at 4, 3, now Archangel, yeah? And now I'm getting ready for it. Still looking after the power word Solace, because I'm going to need to use the evangelism again soon. Let's put down the barrier. Catch any melee in there. Cascade to go along with that. Now I'm going to use my Divine Aegis on that group there. That group 4, if we want to be specific. That is purely to make sure that we're good. Now, from this point on, I'm actually waiting for the next Demolish. What is this guy doing? My God, friend. Stop. So, there we go. Got it back. Smash is coming on the tank, getting ready for the grip. Ooh, oh, no smash? No? Well, here comes Demolish. So, let's get ready for it. Oh, there he goes. Come back. And get the shields going with the Archangel on, yeah? This is what it's all about. We're just preparing for it. This is where we're most effective. Could I get more HPS by just spamming shields mindlessly? Abso-fucking-lutely. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to make sure this mechanic is not super dangerous. So, tank shields on. That is what my purpose is. You can get more HPS, and a lot of people are very HPS concerned as a Disc Priest. I honestly think that is a really terrible idea. HPS is important, obviously, but you can't be sniped as a Disc Priest. You can't be sniped or anything like that. It just doesn't happen. So we're probably going to go into phase 3 soon. So what I'm going to do is put the Divine Aegis on the tank group. And keep this working nicely. Look after my mana. Really nice. There's stage 2. Cool. So a couple of shields for the guys who are falling down. Get those, pre-shield the tanks. And down we go. Nice and tight. So now we're in phase 2. Now again, this is where it gets a little bit on the... I just have to be a bit of a turret at this point, ultimately. And there's no getting away from the fact that I'm just going to have to turret. So Archangel on, get the Cascade going, and start bombing out some shields. Divine Aegis will go on the tank group via that enhanced Archangel. And we're just going to be shielding and looking after our mana. We're not going to be over the top. Going to take it a little bit easy, making sure the tanks are nice and covered for now. And it's triage. What I'm doing now is triaging, because this phase gets more intense the longer the fight goes on. But I also need to bear in mind my mana for phase 3. As again, we are 640 geared, so what we're not going to be doing is like overhealing like complete nutcases. That's not really going to happen. So there goes Archangel. Again, Divine Aegis on the tank group. I'm actually going to hold that for a second. Remember, look how long this is. It's 30 seconds. So what I can actually do is just wait until the other tank is back in the action. He's currently up on the balcony. Mark for death on you. I'll give you a shield. I don't know where you're going. Oh, you got behind it. Excellent. Still 14 seconds left on this buff, so I've no need to rush. That was a lucky penance. So here we go. We're going to put the Divine Aegis on. I'm right in the middle of marks. Don't like that. I actually lost it. Oh, no. Got it. Yeah, I took the mark. It was worth me taking the mark. It was. It was absolute worth. Still triaging at this point. Getting a bit more intense now. You can see people's health bars are going to start to wane. Little bit. Boom. Bomb. Take it. I can take the bomb. Let's get it out of the way. A little bit of help on here. Archangel back on. Divine Aegis on the tank group. Keep the power word source going. Okay, we're going to be a bit more spammy now with our shields, because things get a little bit more intense. Move out of the way of that. Trying to find myself a nice open area, but it seems to be pretty clogged up in here. That's okay. No big deal. Still looking after the mana. If I can go into the next phase with 50% mana, I will be more than happy. More than happy with that. Archangel coming back in 5. Now, at this point, we're not really concerned about when we use Archangel. The splash damage is going to be everywhere. No big deal. Again, putting that wonderful Divine Aegis on those guys. Cascade out. It's all AoE damage from this point on. and shielding while we're under the effects of that Archangel. Big, powerful fucking shields for everybody. And on the tanks. New shield for you. And this is our purpose here. We're triaging it. We're just making sure, whoa, those marks are coming my way. Nice and tidy. So at this point, we could just be like super spammy with shields because the whole raid's going to be taking damage and nothing to worry about there. It's a real crying shame that, again, put out the Divine Aegis on that group. I have a feeling we used, probably, maybe, I think we had a Trank early. Boom, shield on. Got to triage them. And what I'm doing is actually, and this is how Dispriest works, is we're buying time for the throughput healers to heal them. We're saving these guys' lives because each of these shields I'm putting on is like anywhere between 100 to 60k. Yeah? That's what you've got to bear in mind. These are big, powerful fucking spells. So down we go. Archangel on to get us started. Shield the tanks. That's also going to speed them up via body and soul to get into position, which is amazing. That's what we like body and soul for, especially as a disc, because we're firing somebody out. Where are you going? Let's give you... And again, I'm giving borrowed time to as many people as possible here. And in this, it's going to go fucking chaos any moment now. This whole fucking thing is going to go down to the wall. So let's get the Shadow Fiend in for a bit of extra damage. Hunter tanking. That's all good. I think one of the tanks has given up completely, but that's okay. Archangel back on. Oh, that was unfortunate. That was truly unfortunate. Shields on the tanks. Preventing as much as we can. Now, I'm saving my barrier for the last couple of smashes. Those tend to be the real dangerous ones because the other healers might maybe run out of mana or something along those lines. So we want to be extra careful there. Cascade going out. Mark on me. So get myself a nice position. Hopefully where I won't get anybody. Here. Looks good. Get back into position. Archangel back on. Oh, I'm going to have to barrier you. Where are you going? Oh, you died. I tried to barrier you, friend. I did. I tried. I tried so hard to barrier you. The barrier was there, but it wasn't enough. We're just... This is like all-out fucking spam shield, cascade. Get this group alive. Keep the shield on the tanks. Give that guy a pain suppression. Hopefully that'll save him out. Shield on that guy. Hopefully buying enough time for some of the other healers to actually go out there and save his ass. That is what I'm hoping for. And this now is yeah, this is pretty much Battlefield 3, I believe. It's all good. We're still at 8%. This is going to be a wipe actually. Amazing. Amazing. But I think you've got the idea of what we need to do here for this. As much as we're wiping hilariously on Blackhand LFR, which is, you know, by all accounts should be pretty much implausible, but here we are. You get the idea of what we're doing there. Triaging, looking, and picking and choosing with our super powerful instant cast heal, which is what it is. My Divine Aegis is not going to help anyone. Can we do it from 5%? I think we're running out of room, honestly. Oh no, here's a spot. I found one. Guys, over here. It's a good place. I'll drop a bomb here, right in this little border. There we go. Excellent. It's me and a shaman versus the world. But I faded, though. What are you going to do now? I faded you. Oh, I'm down. I'm down. Which is a bummerino. But I did say it was going to be a short fight. So, just for shits and gigs, now you guys have got the basic idea. And I can probably focus a little bit more. We'll do it again. Why not? We'll do it again, just for laughs, because it's always funny when the group falls apart. I think that's always a good time. Always a good time. How shite is that? Pretty shite, actually. The barrier was not enough to save the tank, unfortunately, my friend. But you can see, look at the synergy. Look at this. This is lovely. I mean, I'm more than happy with like my gear level to put out 27k HPS. I'm more than happy with that. That's not bad at all, in my mind. Now, we can see the breakdown there. Look at how power word shield. And you can see we had 97k power word shields coming out there. And we only had a 17% overheal. That's not bad. Believe me, 17% on power word shield, that's not bad. Not bad at all. That means your shields were getting used, getting absorbed, all that kind of stuff. And we showed a couple of different strategies. Look at the DPS meter. Do we? What a shame. I suppose so. It was bad. There's a tank. Oh, it's a Windwalker. 10k. Oh dear. It's a Frosty K with 8k. 91% uptime. Woo! Okay. So that's the thing. So we'll put back on the healing anyway. All good times. It's amazing to think at the... And people often question why more healers don't get absorbs. And it's so goddamn obvious. I mean, this is such a powerful tool to be saving lives in the way the Disc Priest does. And being able to coordinate in such a manner and switch it around in such a way that you can actually really play to absolute strengths. And having more than one in certain scenarios can be very, very overpowered. Certainly if there was multiple absorbs class, that would be crazy. That would... Imagine the amount of outgoing damage Blizzard would have to do if they were guaranteed to have multiple high absorb classes. That would be nuts. So, that is just the thing. So what I'm going to do is we're probably going to... There's probably a lot of LFR rage going on. Look, we're linking the damage meters. Outrageous. So I'll skip till we kill us again. Alright, back in a moment. Welcome back, everybody. We're ready for round 2. Nobody got kicked. Maze. There was much rage. Much rage and anger, but no kicks. Which I think is pretty good. I was getting ready for the life grip there. Yeah, just for safety. I'm going to pull you in. Right, shields on the tanks as normal. Again, it's pretty standard to kick off with an offensive penance here. So I'm going to kick off with some smites just to get my evangelism rolling for the demolition, which is coming any moment now. And there goes the bombs. Good lads. So, in fact, that bomb group is going to be the recipient of my of my Divine Aegis. So while we're under the demolish, let's get the shields going. Nice and tidy. Looking after you guys. Where are you, Mr. Monkey? Where did you go? I'm curious. I would love to know, but I don't think I will find out today, will I? Probably not. Probably not. So again, looking after the tanks. Nice and easy. Nothing special here. All very, very simple stuff. We've got some time. I can't life grip the tank this time, so that's okay. So we're just going to keep... there's going to be a tank switch coming up, so shields on both tanks. Ooh, marked. Are you going? There you go. Have a shield to get there faster. Fucking body and soul all day. Body and soul all day. Love it. Right, demolish is coming in now. Get the prayer of mending, the divine aegis going, and get those shields ticking away. Yeah. Again, just saving the archangel to make sure that our shields are rocking and rolling. We're not worried about HPS. It's not the issue right now. We're making sure we're being effective as much as possible, and that's okay. That's all right in my book. It's too much concern with trying to beat other people. Nobody can outdo us. We'll use a Shadow Fiend now. Why the hell not? That'll be a backup for later on anyway. Now, yeah, I do get really bothered by healers that are really out to compete. I mean, it's nice to compete, but healing just doesn't work that way. We're just trying to make sure we save lives. So if that means I have to delay my HPS spam for a couple of seconds, I'm going to save my Archangel now until we fall down. Penance the tank on the way down. Why not? Into position. Archangel on. Divine Aegis going out now. Boom. And get some shields going. Penance on the way. Let me find a nice spot. I want to be here. Can you guys let me be here? Now, as we did before, we're going to kind of take it a little bit chill earlier in the fight here. Get some Prayer of Mendings going. More concerned with the tanks in this early phase. I'm not ultra concerned with anything else. And I think that's a fair cop in this section of the fight. Is just to triage a little bit. Take it a little bit easy because this does get more and more intense as we go along. So we'll get this going. Follow it up with a cascade. I'm going to have to adjust position accordingly. Ooh, that marks staring at me in the face. More offensive penance. Just look after those. And again, I'm aiming for about 50% mana because we're going to be so spammy in the last phase during Call of Duty mode. I'm trying to dodge these arrows. Good God. Good God. Trying to dodge those arrows. That's a thing. That is a thing. Don't hit me. It's fine. And this is not a nice position to be in. It's got to be said. Triage our hunter there. Shields on. Again, just this is slow healing, yeah? This is the slow build-up. It's no rush. This bit is going to gradually get more and more damaging as we go on. So I need to not be like blowhard. You know, you always go into L5 and you'll see a healer blow fucking Tranquility or Revival or something because, you know, a trash mob approached us with a seemingly nasty grimace, and therefore I had to blow all my cooldowns in the world in order to survive that. My big mana drain here, for those of you who are wondering, is actually Prayer of Healing. Prayer of Healing is such a mana drain. I'm next to a bomb and a siege. Fuck you. I noticed it. What are you going to do? We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Keep the tanks nice and shielded. Get that Archangel, that wonderful penance. Just finishing off. That's right. I'm just contributing to the deeps. Where are you, Mr. DK? Oh, got you. Saved you, buddy. You're fine now. And there you go. You see the way that gave the other healers time? That's what it's all about. Your shield is to give the other healers time, the throughput healers as they're called, just to fucking do their job, which is to fill HP bars. It's not my job. It isn't. If you're designed to tank heal, or if your tanks are taking too much damage that you feel you need to start healing them, then your other healers, honestly, are doing something wrong. They should be managing that far more effectively. Keep the shields going on. We're just triaging still here. It's actually, I think we've killed a couple of balconies. Very rare for the LFR to see that, honestly. There we go. And, okay, so here we go. Get the cascade going. And get these tanks into position of body and soul. Cool. Came out a little bit lower on mana than I would have liked. Don't know where you're going. There's a shoot. Fuck off, man. Whoa. I've never seen those bows before. That was like a whole like medieval fucking thing going on then. That was pretty cool. I like it. So we're going to get a little bit more ballsy with our shields now, which is fine. That's what we expected. Cascade going out. Good cascade uptime. Archangel on. That group needs Divine Aegis like so badly. Mark on me, so I'll get myself a nice position. That'll do. Okay, they can have the Divine Aegis. I feel like I'm giving the hand of God when I do my Divine Aegis. I'm like, who gets it? You get it. Okay, pain suppression on the tank. Still looking after my mana though. Still looking after it. Cascade going out. No shields going out. Whee! Mark on me. Cool. Now, I'm going to barrier the next smash, which is in like 3 seconds. So that's cool. Shields on. Waiting for that circle to appear. Oh, I'll do the next one. That one looks pretty safe to me. Oh, and down it goes. Easy as pie the second time round. Absolutely stupendous. Stupendous. It's fun making these decisions. You do feel like the hand of God because your shield is quite literally so fast and so powerful that it just rocks. It absolutely rocks. It really does. Because you are quite literally saying, you shall not die now, right? Under the effects of Archangel on that, you can see the difference in the power of shields between using Archangel shields and normal shields. It's 25% as some of these cynics will say. But other than that, it's absolutely a ton of fun. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Dispriest, give it a try. Treat it with the respect it deserves. And don't be too concerned with your HPS. It will come. If you put the powerful shields at the big damage, the HPS will come. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.